Welcome back, everybody. We are back with another episode. I always have that drawer open. It always bugs me. We are back with another episode review. Oh my gosh, I did not realize how crazy my hair was, y'all. I'm sorry. I had to stay late at work today. I had a table that I got right before I clocked out, and I had to keep them because work was slow and I needed the money. So yet again, another late release. I appreciate each and every one of you for watching all these videos. Thank you so much. I've kind of really stopped doing movie reviews, but I just like talking about anime. I just like talking about my favorite shows. And when Attack on Titan premieres November 4th, I'll talk about that. When Demon Slayer this may just turn into an anime channel. I don't know. I'm no expert on anime, but I like talking about what I like talking about. When Dune 2 comes out, I'll probably talk about that. Maybe some other stuff that I'm really interested in. But just lately, I haven't. Like, I saw The Creator. I really like The Creator. Go see The Creator. Well worth it. Hope it makes some money. And if it doesn't make money in box office, it's definitely gonna find its life on VOD or Blu-ray, because that's gonna become like, I don't want to call it the next Blade Runner, but it's gonna become like a cult classic if it doesn't like have box office success. But anyways, we are back with the next episode of the Shibuya arc, Seance, and it starts right off where we've got Yuji, Megumi, and Ino trying to break the barrier. But they can't, even with Yuji's punches, and Yuji's punches are so powerful that even Ino compares him to Nanami's strikes. And he's like, how strong is this guy? And I'll say it right off the bat, and I made a note here, and I'll probably repeat myself, like, anime does such a good job of endearing you to characters in such little time. Like, we saw Ino in the sewers that one time with Nanami. We saw him be like, oh, where's Nanami? I wish he could be here to see me fight in Zero. And like, it almost kind of gave you the wrong impression of him, like kind of like a little cocky, a little brash, but he's anything but that. And I'll just skip ahead to the flashback that we have of him and Nanami at the restaurant. He's treating Nanami to dinner. He's like, you don't have to, Nanami's saying, you don't have to do this. Like, you can make probably semi first grade on your own without recommendations. He's like, yeah, but anytime I'm in a situation, I'm asking myself, like, what would you do? So I want your recommendation. Like, and if I have to take you out to dinner to get it, then I'll do that. And all those things, and him also saying, like, while he's fighting, like, set aside your pride, like, focus on what's going on in the moment, adapt, overcome. Like, he's a really nice guy, and he's like, I love, I talked about it in the last episode, like, his speech where, like, he's not, when Megumi kind of cuts him off, like, when Nanami's like, okay, so what's going on? And Megumi, like, kind of cuts him off and be like, here's what's going on. Here's this, and this. This is why, Gojo being sealed is a bad thing. And then when Nanami's like, watch out for them. Like, protect your underclassmen. And he's like, okay, let's go. Like, and he, like, lays out the bullet points of what's going on. And then, like, he gives them, like, a little, like, motivational. I don't know if he actually slaps them, but, like, he kind of, like, gives them, like, a, hey, like, kind of like a pump-up thing, like, in the locker room type thing. And I love that. Like, all of our time with this guy is so great. And I really love him, and we'll get to it, but I'll just say this, and spoilers ahead, guys. I hope he's not dead. That's all I hope for, because that seems to be like an anime thing. Like, hey, here's a flashback of a character you like. He's dead, by the way. He's about to die. Like, there's even like TikToks where it's like, when you start seeing more character development for the side character, it most likely means he's about to exit the series. But I really hope that's not the case for because I really love him. They figure out that the veil is being obviously created by curse users, but they're outside the veil. They're not in the veil. They're not behind the barrier. They're in front of the barrier, kind of protecting it. And they've got to destroy those big thumbtack things, like Itadori destroyed one when he fought the grasshopper guy. And they've got to find more. And they decide that, what's the biggest place that stands out right now? And they find them, and it's 3 curse users, the curse users that ended the last episode. I'm not sure their names. One I can call Granny. The other I'm going to call Netero, because he reminds me of Netero from Hunter x Hunter. And the other I'll call Slim. I literally just made that up right now. I know they do have names. I don't know if they say them, or if I probably just missed them. But you know what? you guys know who I'm talking about. But yeah, big muscle guy Netero reminded me of Netero because like he looks exactly like Netero. He's got the mustache. I think he's got a goatee. He wears socks like Netero does when he faces the Ant King. Like everything about him reminds me of Netero, so I'm gonna call him that. Slim is staying with Granny, and I love like the ingenious plan. Also, how many humans has Mahito transfigured? Like. He transfigured like what was it, 1,000 that they said, and that all came pouring out of the train right before Gojo got sealed. And then he's got, you know, hundreds on the street, and the building that the 3 curse users are in are being protected by hundreds more. It's like, oh my gosh, like how many humans has Mahito killed? It's insane. But like you just know that guy is strong. But I love how, you know, we could have gotten the typical anime thing where like it shows our protagonist just tearing through. And I love, like, again, in the background, I love the little derpy animation that they give Jujutsu Kaisen characters sometimes. And you get like a derpy Yuji taking out a transfigured human, and then the demon dog just eating it. I'm like, that's really dark. And they made it super derpy, and okay, we're just gonna move on from that. But I love how they take them off the building with new, like his owl shadow beast. They take Netero off the building and leave Ino to deal with the grandma and Slim. And I love Ino. Like, it's so cool seeing like techniques, like discovering new techniques. And Ino, when he pulls, like we saw the beanie in Zero, and like he's wearing like the ski mask. And so we learned that when he pulls the ski mask down, he becomes a Seance and can summon the power of the 4 beasts. And, you know, I think we only really saw 2 of them. One was like the spiral bullet thing he did, and the other was the water that kind of protects him and lets him slide around with his movements. I don't know what the other 2 are, and I hope we get to see the other 2, because again, I hope Ino is not dead, because what we learn is that I thought Granny was like strengthening the barrier, and like if they interrupted her prayer, that would also weaken the barrier or something like that. But it turns out that she was summoning the ghost of somebody, and that's her power, is that she can summon someone and I guess turn it into like a pill form. And that's what Slim takes. He takes this pill because he's getting his butt kicked. And right before Ino can finish the fight, he takes the pill and he turns into Toji. Like, of all the people, now I don't know how they got. Granted, they're kind of playing fast and loose with how people get corpses over here. But he turns into Toji, and as much as I love Ino, like, no. I think we've been introduced to maybe one person. I think Gojo now is the only person that could beat Toji, like present day Gojo. You know, like he obviously got, like he got beat and then resurrected and beat him like pretty easily. So Gojo could beat him. I don't know if Geto or, you know, Krang Geto could beat him. I don't know if Hanami, any of the special grade curses, Hanami, Jogo, or Mahito, maybe they could, because they can do domains, and that would kind of be like a game over for him. But other than that, like, and I'm gonna put a maybe next to the 3 cursed spirits that we know, the special cursed spirits that we know. Other than that, Toji's still like goated with the sauce, as the kids say. And so when he transformed, and like, I know we're going back and forth, but I'll just finish Ino's story here, and I hope it's not the end of his story. Toji just kind of like moves so fast, he rips his mask off and then just beats the crap out of him. And we just see like, hey there, Nose Kitty, what are you doing? We just see kind of like the blood spatter, and we don't, like, we see him like getting hit, and then we just see blood spatter. So it's like anime's so good at that. Stop doing that, please, where I like a character and like, oh, you know, I misjudged you, you're a good dude. Oh, you might be dead. So that's nice. That's good. Thank you for that, Jujutsu Kaisen. You've already taken away my favorite protagonist. of all time, and now you're doing this to me. Cool. Thanks so much. And I'm sure it's only going to get worse with all the rumors that I've heard. I'm sure all I've heard is how crazy and bad and heart-wrenching the Shibuya arc is. So I wouldn't be surprised if like this is how they start. And I'll say that the little flashback where they kind of give the backstory of the curse users. I don't know where Slim came from, but Netero and Granny were always like partners, and you know, probably mother son, it seems like. But they're diabolically evil. I don't know what it is about curse users and peeling people's skin, but you know, the bald guy that wanted to make Gojo a coat rack, and now we have Netero peeling people's faces off. Meanwhile, Granny is murdering school children and resurrecting them, use it to get, and just saying like the most heinous thing as someone leaves this plane of existence. Just terrible people. Literally just the worst kind of people. And it just goes back to like when Gojo Satoru was born. Before that, they were just kind of like living life, and you know, hey, all the Jujutsu sorcerers are too worried about cursed spirits. We can get away with killing people. It doesn't matter. But when Gojo was born, and when he's born, there's already 100 million yen bounty on him, which is insane. Like I said it last episode, where they were and that's $672,000. So no small feat there. And that's just like when he was a kid. I'm sure the bounty now no one's gonna take, but I'm sure it's like 10 billion yen or something like that, like 100 billion yen. Like, yeah, good luck collecting that money, but if you can somehow do it, like, you'll never have to work another day in your life, and neither will your future generations. Oh, I lost my train of thought. Where I was talking about how I severely underestimated the impact of Gojo Satoru, where it's just like, yeah, we know he's strong and he's funny, and it's like, oh, I'm the strongest, I'll kill you. But just like how curses were in hiding, curse users were in hiding. Like the minute he was born, everyone had like their eyes on his 6 eyes, and it was just like, this guy is going to change history. Like, the rotation of the earth is changing because Gojo was born. And it's just like crazy, and I severely underestimated just how powerful this man was and how influential he is. I'll say is, my boy is not dead, he's just imprisoned. But it's crazy. Like, I love seeing like this kind of like past tense, like, yeah, and he even says like, oh, like, because, you know, Megumi is like, oh, Gojo will come get you, and he's like, I heard Itadori yelling, Gojo's been sealed. If Gojo was here, we'd be in bed asleep. The only reason we're here is because he's been sealed. And I do love, like, I'll start with this thing, like, we've never get to see our boys really fight together, Megumi and Yuji. Like, you know, we've seen Yuji and Toto fight together, we've seen Megumi fight on his own, we've seen Megumi fight with Maki, and so on and so forth. We've never seen our 2 main boys fight together, so it was really refreshing to see that. And them using really good teamwork where Itadori can literally jump on top of a building so fast that only Nue can keep up with him. But I love them teaming up, and just like I was watching this like, okay, this guy's strong. He fell off, you know, 40 stories and didn't even get a scratch. And then when Demon Dog hits him and doesn't leave a scratch, I was like, okay, how strong is this guy? Because, and Megumi says it earlier, like, Demon Dog left a mark in Hanami. Demon Dog, you know, killed that other special grade that got them a cursed finger at the end of season 1. So like, Demon Dog is not to be trifled with, but this guy didn't even get a scratch on him. And I love Megumi. Like, Itadori is so, like, because he says, like, it's hard to, I'm not going to, like, break down the battle, well, you know, piece by piece. But just Megumi even saying, like, it's harder to keep up with Yuji than it is this curse user. Like, I don't know who this guy, but it's just so hard to keep up with Yuji because he's so fast. And that's another character where I'm just like, yeah, I knew Yuji was strong, but just this episode I was like, oh, he just threw a car at somebody? he literally just threw a car at somebody, so much so that Netero was like, oh my god, like this guy's giving me chills with how strong he is. And I'm sure that like him throwing a car is also like enhanced with curse energy. I don't know if like just, you know, normal Yuji could throw a car. Maybe he could. I don't know. But I like that. Oh yeah, this will take no time at all. This won't take long. I love that our boy is getting confident. Like, he's always been so, he's still like a selfless guy. He's still very respectable. He's not cocky, but he knows his abilities. And I'm loving seeing him just come into his own as a Jujutsu sorcerer, let alone like, you know, just a freak of an athlete. Megumi's bunny cover, love it. I love that Yuji's literally, he's like, I got a little bunny here. Meanwhile, the rest blanket Netero. And, you know, typical anime fashion of seeing the action first and then being explained, where Netero's technique is inverted. The harder people punch, the less impact they do, and then the softer people punch, the more impact they do. And right before, it was so funny, right before Yuji said it, I was like, did you just flick him in the forehead or something? And I was like, no, that can't be that simple. But then Yuji said, I was like, okay, maybe I'm just as smart as Yuji, and I don't know if there's a good thing or a bad thing, but I was like, I had the same thought. But it's like you have to find like this medium punch where it's like it's off center, it's off beat, it's off balance, where like it can't be like a forehead flick, but you know, it can't be like, you know, some wind up crow hop, you know, thunder punch or something. And that's what they do. They use his frog shadow beast to get him. And then I love the final punch that Yuji gives him, where he like pauses and then goes, and just seeing that is so perfect. I love their teamwork. They work so well together. Megumi dropping a freaking elephant on somebody. I'm sad that it got wasted on someone it didn't have an effect on. I would have loved to see him like just splat a curse, or a curse user or something like that. Just splat somebody. I hope that comes into play again. But it's so cool seeing our boys just tag team somebody and just jump them like that. And you know, people call this jump jutsu, Kaisen. They're not wrong. People get tag team all day in this anime, and I love it. But yes, I absolutely love this episode, and I love like the final punch is like a great anime moment, like, you know, the pause and then the doom, and doing it over and over again. But then Megumi being like, "Hey, you're surprisingly adept," and Yuji being like, "Really?" Like, they're so casual, and Yuji's such a good boy, and he's such a doofus that I love him so much. But yes, great episode. I don't know what happened to Ino-kun. I don't know how Toji is. Well, I know how Toji is here, but I don't know what's going to happen with Toji. If he's going to go, like, is it just like, I don't know. Is it like, what's her name from My Hero Academia that just like, you know, gets their blood and can copy them and gets like some of their quirk, but like not really. But we see that Toji still has his strength, like that kind of strength. So I don't know what kind of power Slim is going to have with Toji's body. So I'm really curious to see that, like what the rules are of a seance and like this curse, like this corpse manipulation that Granny does. I'm really curious to see that. And, you know, I'd be okay with having another episode of this. I looked at, like, you know, the little post-credits kind of chalkboard outlining stuff, and it seems like we're going to get some Nanami and maybe some Mei in this episode. So, who knows? I'm just loving this. I'm just along for the ride here, and I'm taking what I can get, and I'm loving every second of it. These are the longest weeks of my life, though. I'm so glad I had to open this morning, and I'm glad this episode dropped at like 9:30, so I had plenty of time to eat my bagel, drink my coffee, and watch this episode, so it was great. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you for your patience about the late upload. Appreciate y'all. Have a great night. Bye-bye.